Morning. We're doing some feet today. Energy lines. Like the hands, we're just going to work in strips of tissue. In Thai style or acupressure, a lot of times we have some trigger points, some tight spots that we can stomp on that can help to activate different centers in the body. But simply for now, this is just foot massage to get circulation going up into the body and to also stretch hips. I have a lot of clients here that need chairs, should find some things to do like our spinal twist here throughout the course of the day. We have lots of options. So you can see just in getting started to bring my foot up, I've been stretching out my hip and pushing down a little bit, rolling the tissue of the thigh open, getting the hip joint a little bit more mobile, which leads up into the back, the hip, the waist, and even checking our posture on the upper body as always. A lot of times we'll come in and try to round out around our hips, but the point will be to press that hip down and try to straighten out our spines. So I have ankle rotations, started to warm up that tissue, bringing some circulation up. It's morning, things are a little stiff. So just general squeezes of the foot here. You know, get that circulation moving and considering each toe. Let's see, my toes aren't perfect. Walking around this summer, kind of dry. So general, but you can really take your time and get in between then each line and then there each bone. And there are muscles, full bodies rather than the attachment points that lie on those energy lines, which are great to get a hold of, but in general, it's that deep muscular system and a lot of spreading of toes we need and opening up the pad of the foot. A lot of times everything gets pulled in and everything kind of operates like bird feet, one of my clients said. And, you know, in her 60s, she had to grow into using her feet and grounding down and opening things up, massaging, maybe stretching the foot, stripping the tissue, even coming into the heel here. I place some pressure and stretch away. Opens up the ball of the foot, the pads all the way there. You need to get through this line. And see thumbs, whether they're rocking or full thumb pad there. I usually like to double up my hands. It makes them stronger and you can get to more. And I'm usually pressing and pulling in all directions. It's all healthy. You know, we're looking for like those little tight tendons. They're kind of holding us up there. And like my favorite line here in my palm, this inner line here on my foot. This is like your spine in reflexology, they say. So cervical to the head, sinuses, out and down the spine, kind of maps out. And it would be the same here. Sinuses coming on down to head, neck, shoulders, waist, and then yeah, hips. Bottom of your sacrum. So it comes all the way. So this is like your mid-back. So getting all the way through the foot, doing some twisting, trying to get those phalanges mobile. And I'm going to bring it around. So this could be a lot of effort for many of my clients, is bringing the foot up like this. Might have to gather more room on a seat, on a bed, on a bench to be able to bring your foot up to where it's reachable. So top of foot and circle our way down. And in fact, I mean, this is a great stretch for you, right? Just okay, I can barely reach my foot, shake it out. You just try to touch it once a day. And in the days, if you did it every day, you know, this compression to the mid-torso will get easier. So the tops of the feet take way less pressure in general than the bottom. We walk on the bottoms of our feet all day, so Just doing thumb circles on those bones again, or energy lines, and then there's a matter of trying to get in between. I'm going to support the foot, pressing up, and try to get in between those bones. You can wiggle toes. Little secret, I was born apparently with a little bit of a webbed toe right here, so tends to stick throughout my life. But it is also within direct line of tension for it being my right powerful leg. You know, we will come to feel out different. Sorry, and I traced that line down because it's tight. Yeah, feel out the differences in the body, you know, in the sides of the body, and just where different tensions kind of gather and hold due to the nature of our movement. We tend to be a right dominant society, and I just always lean to, even if you're left-handed, there's only so many people that are left-handed. That doesn't drive the traffic of your body. This right powerful leg that tends to drive and power and move us tends to shift our body into an active nature here, while our left hangs out. So we're constantly trying to bring this back into alignment and truly lift up the front tissues, hip all the way into the core, to oppose, one, its holding nature, and two, the power of the right side. So when we consider getting up from our chair, balance, hips, you know, gathering ourselves there, but I do a lot of bringing up lower belly, navel, straightening out the torso, kind of adjusting things before I even walk, to try to remember to balance that and relax this right side. So if it's always kicked up and wanting to move, that happens all the way up into the mid-back, so we constantly kind of have to tell that guy to relax, oddly enough. So, getting into other side, we've got my foot. It's cold this morning. Not super cold, it's still August, but I think we're all feeling the turn of the season. This feet's is a little bit more tense, and in fact I went right into the massage without pressing on that hip again. So making sure to press, and I'm even going to connect in and roll the tissue of the calf more. This wasn't a leg massage video or a hip stretch video as much as you can see I'm palming adductor muscles here, the top of the thigh, moving that tissue back and forth, because it not only softens the tissue here, it will start to soften from the hip and allow that knee to come out and down. That affects, again, everything up into the torso, into the core. So remember not to sit down, but the leg goes down. Try to straighten ourselves out. Maybe even a couple twist rotations in there. Both sides. I know I did on the other side. It feels good to come up out of this hip mobility. So there's that. Feels a little bit better. However, get back to that foot. And for whatever it is, definitely feels a little sensitive. I did run my, little less sensitive. I did run my hands through here once, and now I've opened up my hip. So again, you can see that I'm like holding my toes now to keep that ball of the foot open and stretch out the fascia. A lot of people have plantar fasciitis. So that's that tightening of the tissue here by way of calves tension. And I can feel, yes, the difference inside my foot and how that tension lies and wraps differently into and around my toe here, my big toe for sure. So I'm going to start in with doubles here, pulling the ball of my foot apart, rotating open the knuckles, coming on down. And I'm forget to squeeze the heel. You know, it has to breathe too. So, but these things aren't always easy to get to. I mean, it's kind of awkward, but in the awkwardness comes flexibility. Awkward and weird movements, you know, get into our joints a little bit differently and get the oxygen and the nutrients they need to like regenerate and restore, you know, to the core. You have to change from repetitive, stressful movements and try new things. See that tension right there for me. I've had some extra tension in my calves lately. A lot of climbing. A little bit less yoga practice, meaning in an hour format. I too, and my message has always been to live with your yoga. And that means, you know, now we can't always take an hour, 90-minute yoga class a day, but it takes a 90-minute to 2-hour yoga class to unwind our bodies from our lives and all the things that we do. So, to me, early, that meant that you take that yoga class and you break it down over the course of the day. So it's all in how you wake up, the thoughts you think when you get up. It's then in how you stretch and move, morning stretch to spinal twists, wiggling fingers and toes, standing well into your feet or sitting well into your feet as you get up for movement for the day. Stretching, standing, forward fold. I have images of that old man in my head. And I'm massaging the bottom of my foot, wiggling my toes, trying to open up the bottom. I'm even standing into my foot. Having images of old man doing his, you know, reaching for the sky and touching his toes 10 times or 20 times before he gets on about his day. I love that. You know, you go into the bathroom and seated spinal twist first thing in the morning helps eliminate, you know, the colon. So that's all great. I'm gonna go this way to stretch this. You know, and seated chair pose, you know, when you check in to brush your teeth. Things like that. So, all right, well, I'm gonna talk my way through the left side, smoothing things out, stretching the tissue at the top of the foot, getting in between the bones, wiggling those toes, making sure everything's kind of stretched out and open. So I hope that, you know, as far as the feet stretched out and open, you know, the hips got some movement, which is nice. We did a little bit of a twist here and there to kind of start getting into the side waist breathing. I haven't been doing proper breaths, but speaking my way through. But you keep breathing through. Stretching and elongating the spine. And then move on, you know, with the day.